frequency. Talking truth, talking change, talking all that's real. With Francis Pierre at the wheel. Politics to faith, the latest trend. We talk it out from end to end. And if you've got something to share, pick up the phone, turn it up. Real FM, ride the frequency. Talking truth, talking change, talking all that's real. With Francis Pierre at the wheel. Politics to faith, the latest trend. We talk it out from end to end. And if you've got
Welcome brothers, welcome sisters, welcome to our program On Target. At this point you can pick up your telephone. The number is 442-0175 and you can introduce a topic you want to speak about. Our program gives you an opportunity to speak. You can interrupt us at any time. It is even better for you to determine what we speak about. You can ask any questions. You can ask me to explain the reason I give my opinion. I like to give my opinion on issues of politics in particular, or on any topic, and I'll tell you why. I like reasons. I like justification. You know, sometimes people say I don't agree with you, and I sit waiting to hear why. You know, if a girl say I don't like you, I'm still waiting to hear why. So I think it's important that we have discussion in politics. We have to develop that culture. Otherwise, the communists and the socialists are going to believe they are always right. And they know what is good for you. And when they're in power, they jail those who disagree with them. You have to be very, very careful in Grenada. While we're on that, yes, we are on Real FM 91.9, 91.5. We Noise FM in New York, 94.9. We encourage you to share us. The social media provides an opportunity for you to share with your friends what you listen to. So share us, subscribe to Real FM. So every time we come on, it's automatic. Subscribe and like us. That's important. Give us a blind. Share us. And once again, we appeal to Grenadians to come to the assistance of the farmers in Marigot. Since we cut the Minister of Agriculture line and saying only one farmer that was affected and one farmer that is complaining, they have abandoned the farmers in Marigot. Up to today, they have not gotten back the water. But that doesn't mean that the NDC political activists is not terrorizing the farmers. So we call on all the farmers in Grenada, go and find out what's going on. You don't want to take it from us. Find out and come in solidarity with the farmers of Marigot. Over 20-something years, they was obtaining water. And the Ministry of Agriculture, based upon the instruction of the politician, cut them off. You know, we have found a line saying there's stone in the tank, all kind of excuse. But up to today, they intend to starve the farmers. This is the NDC attitude. Intimidation, use drones to intimidate Johnny Simon, threaten to shut down Andre and Real FM and jail individuals, and the relentless attack on the individuals who dare speak in Marigot. Most of them are extremely quiet now, they're not complaining. But the few who are complaining, the ministry, the NDC politicos is going after them. Where will it end? They need your support. They need your solidarity. And we need the Minister of Agriculture to speak the truth. He lied in Parliament, and he went on that program and lied again. These people are so compulsive liars that they don't understand what they're doing, the negative consequences of it. Yes, scholar, welcome.
I want to know when they're criminalizing marijuana.
Well, the Prime Minister said he was legalizing it, and then the Prime Minister made a movie with weed in front of the police. I have not heard any story about what they intend to do, and we have not heard the lawyer that like weed. All of a sudden, he has gone in a cocoon, hibernation. We are not hearing him. So we don't know what is the next move. And it's very difficult to believe these individuals because they are compulsive where lies are concerned. We have another issue, while I wait your call, we have another issue we raise. NAWASA. NAWASA have a multi-million-dollar project, and they passed the pipe on Bamboo Bridge. Bamboo Bridge is a small bridge. 2 cars or a car and a bus could pass abreast one another at reduced speed. But if a truck coming, one vehicle would have to back, or one would have to wait. The trucks now are powerful. They're like racing cars. When they pass, the bridge and all will vibrate. Because NAWASA put this big pipe, I don't know if it's 6 or 8-inch or 12-inch pipe, I don't know, on the bridge, it will be negative for pedestrians. If it is a young man, that's all right. But if it's an elderly person, or a woman, a big fat woman, or a pregnant woman, crapo smoke, she pipe without tobacco. Because if you put the foot on that pipe, it is cylindrical, it is wrong, it could slip. There is absolutely no need for NAWASA to pass the pipe on the bridge. NAWASA could pass the pipe behind the bridge. It would not cost them anything more because they can stable the pipe on the bridge without having anything to build structures. So why did NAWASA do that? A number of people have complained. The people in the community are concerned that what NAWASA doing has the potential to damage civilians, pedestrians, people walking on the bridge, pregnant women, although we don't have much pregnant women these days, elderly women, fat women, old men, they are likely to get damaged. Drunk men, because now they have to climb up this big pipe and fight to hold on the bridge. And because of the project in Liver, the trucks are passing with great regularity. Now when you see these acts of action on the ground, it means at the top level they start to get corrupt. When you see these little blatant acts on the ground that the ordinary man could see with his eyes closed, it means that this organization is getting extremely insensitive, like the government, they don't care. And NAWASA is a direct arm of the government because the minister can fire the board and appoint the board tomorrow. And this government has appointed Dr. Board. You see what the board in the Grenada Development Bank did? They flung the law with impunity and they gave money to ministers, directors, and friends of NDC heavyweight. We have heard, we don't know how true this one is, that they gave back the minister the collateral that he had for the loan. I never heard that in my whole life. I never heard that in my whole life. The minister put up a house and a piece of land as collateral, and the bank gave him back so he could sell it. I've never heard that yet. We see the corruption that's going on in the Integrity Commission. Ministers are receiving expensive gifts. They're not returning it to the commission, but the commission can squeak. We heard the stories in National Lottery. The corrupt board was returned after the whistleblower was fired. We heard stories about government concrete. You hear stories where people are receiving check. They get $90,000 for a $15,000 or $30,000 contract. They go to the bank, draw the money, and give back the people who send them, and they get the money paid for the contract. We have heard all these stories, a lot of stories in the public. Some we are unable to verify, but they are so regular that we believe. So we calling on, we want people to start to put your eyes on NAWASA. NAWASA had been a very good company, and we had gave them very high rating over the years. More than 90% of our people had access to pipe-borne water. So NAWASA was a company that we felt was relatively goodly managed. It seems as though NAWASA is getting corrupt. When you see these little acts on the ground, it tells you a bigger story on top. So we're going to continue to keep our eyes on NAWASA, and at the same time continue to call on the board of directors to go on Bamboo Bridge. And if you believe nothing is wrong with where the pipe is, say that. If you believe that is the best place to put the pipe, say that. If you believe that establishing a pipe on the bridge give the pedestrian more platform to walk on, say that. If you believe when big truck pass, elderly people and people who just come out in the rum shop have no problem as a result of the pipe, say that. But if you continue to stay silent, we will continue to probe into NAWASA. And when we're done, we will appeal to members of the board publicly. We are not doing that now. It's not our intention. But if you would not respond to us, if you would not visit the bridge and then make your comments publicly, or change what is there, we may have to let the public know who owned the board. I think it's important. We have to constantly remind our people that democracy needs to be protected. Democracy needs to be protected. If you don't protect democracy, you could lose the democracy you have. Venezuelans are finding out that they have not protected the democracy, and they have a version now that is counterproductive to the ordinary man. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon.
Call one. We off? We don't know if we're on because the current is playing a game with us. So at this time, I don't know if the program is on or not. We're not on.
Because the backup is on, so
People could hear us still?
yeah, but I just know a few minutes before the backup got off.
Okay, so right now we are operating on the backup. The electrical backup that operates for just a few minutes. It only gives you time to round up. So if you didn't hear us again, 17 minutes into the program, it means that power, and we don't have the necessary backup to last us more than enough time to put our things in order. We want to thank all those who are with us. Remember, on this program, we provoke discussion. We don't have all the answers. But when we hear things, if we find it's credible and it's fundamental, we bring it to the fore. We concern a lot about policies and the actions taken by government, particularly those that have consequences for the ordinary man. There are a number of people in Grenada who are well represented by organizations and institutions. We have no interest in trying to represent them or speak on their behalf. That's why you don't hear us talk much about the trade union, unless it's to explain a point or make mention of.